Hello dear children. So we will continue the topic here. So as we were discussing about the society of Europe before the French Revolution, so that was called the pre-period. So now in detail we will see the society, how the society was divided. The society was divided into three groups, that were aristocracy, peasantry, and then after some time the new group emerged, that was middle class. In the aristocracy we know there were the rich people and clergies were including. In peasantry, the common farmers, the common peasants of European countries. And then after the middle group which is emerged, in that whole group was consist of whole educated and job holder people. Okay, so we'll know about something about the middle class. Now we will let us understand about the middle class. So what was the idea of middle class and what they wanted to do? The middle class came up with the idea of nation unity and liberal nationalism. So you have to remind this, the liberal nationalism and nation unity, these ideas were given by whom? By middle class. What is the meaning of nation unity? The unification of nations means we want one nation instead of provinces. Instead of everybody can come and attack on us and they will conquer, they will take our area in their hand. Instead of that, the middle class wanted their own nation and they could be called as the particular nationalist. So that idea they wanted. And again they wanted the liberal nationalism. What is the meaning of liberal nationalism now? The freedom from individuals means anybody, any rich person, monarch could not attack and control on the people, could not gain control on the people. From that they wanted the freedom. They wanted the equality before the law. They wanted the government with agreement of common people. And end of autocracy. Autocracy means the rule of rich people. And clerical privileges means whichever privileges were given to clergies, to the churches, that privileges they wanted to remove. And representative government by the common people. From the common people they wanted a government that could be representative with constitution. So this type of government they wanted. So this all the ideas were kept by middle class of Europe. But these ideas could not be succeeded until and unless the problems will not be solved from the European society. So which were the problems? The first problem was that very limited people were having right to give vote. Means if the voting rights are for the limited rich people, here you can see the property holder people, men only about 20 years old, they are only allowed to vote. So this type of people means indirectly we can say the rich people. Property holder means rich people. If rich people will be having the right to vote, obviously they will be choosing to whom? They will be choosing to rich representative. Okay, so automatically the rule will be of rich representatives, and that the middle class don't wanted. And then they wanted to remove the restrictions from trade, where whatever the restrictions were there from state to state trading, that restrictions they wanted to remove. So this all the information was about the middle class. This type of things middle class wanted. Okay, so were they succeeded in this? That we will be discussing in the upcoming topics. Now let's go back to the Napoleon rule. Okay, so these 2 points I'll be explaining you later on. Okay, so here we will talk that how by 1815 we know the Napoleon has called himself the King of France. Okay, and then after he started controlling the countries of Europe. He wanted to become the emperor of whole Europe. That's why he started controlling, conquering and attacking on the different countries of European continent. And this his habit only was reason behind his death. So as by 1815 Napoleon was defeated in Waterloo by whom? By Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria. These all four countries came together, and as Napoleon attacked on them, so these all four countries, four powers came together and they defeated to Napoleon. They killed to Napoleon. So obviously after the defeat of Napoleon, after the killing of Napoleon, under whom the government will come? Obviously the government was now in the hand of all four powers. So which were the four powers? Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria. By defeat of Napoleon, the new idea came up. So which was that idea? That idea was conservatism. Yes, obviously. So Napoleon during his time, as he has many drawbacks of his rule, but he has many good points also of his rules. So with that rules, the people were very much happy with the freedom. Okay, but when the power came in the hand of four countries, four powers, so again the rule, whatever the rule was before the Napoleon, whatever the rule was before the Napoleon, in the France, you know the example of France. Yes, aristocracy, the rule of king, monarch. So that all the things they bring back. Who bring back? The Britain, Russia, Persia, and Austria. These countries bring all that things back. So that all things, the idea of bringing monarchy and all the rules related to monarchy, that all the related rules were called the idea of conservatism. Means to conserve the rights of aristocrats, to conserve the rights of king, monarch, as the clergies, all these people's right to conserve. This idea is called conservatism. So what was the conservatism? Re-establishment of old traditions, like monarchy will be re-established, churches will be given the privileges as it is, social hierarchies means the the king's son will be the upcoming successor, will be the upcoming king, like that hierarchies were there. So all these things will be followed. Okay, and autocratic power means autocratic, the power should not be in one hand, that was decided. Okay, in the democratic France it was decided that power will not be in the king's hand, all people will be having the power. But now that idea was brought back कि the power will be now in the hand of particular person who is powerful and who is rich. Okay, and no criticism means now there will be no criticism, in the sense we can say कि all the people has to do the things as it is followed from earlier traditional things, like peasantry has to give their feudal system, and then uh, uh, the Slavs, the poor people, they has to work under the rich people, they has to work under the church people. That work will be carry on. The taxes, whatever taxes has to give to clergies, to churches, to nobilities, that will be carry on. So there will be no criticism, means all rule will be followed same as it was followed earlier. Censorship, again it was relaunched. Okay, so this all the things were again brought back. So this all the things were brought back. So all these things were called what? That was called the idea of conservatism. Means to conserve, to protect the rules, the right, the powers of kings of high class. That was called the conservatism. And when these ideas brought back, so when the power came in the hand of four countries now, so all the four countries decided to have a treaty, have the signed letter, the treaty, the signed letter. So when the power came in their hand, so they signed a treaty by 1815. So that treaty was called Treaty of Vienna, because it was signed in the city of Vienna. That's why it was called the Treaty of Vienna. So in this Treaty of Vienna, it is very easy to understand and remind, because all these four countries, they got something in this treaty. For example, in France, what they did, in France they restored the Bourbon dynasty, because we know the king of France who was till now the Napoleon Bonaparte, and as he was controlling the countries in the Europe, in the whole continent of Europe, he started controlling the countries. So he was becoming the king of Europe. So that's why prevented French expansion in future, means now France could not expand their area, means France now they are not able to expand their area. For that, what they did, they prevented France, means they strictly asked the France not to control and not to attack on another countries to expand their areas. How? This is in detail. If you will see in the book that on the boundaries of France, they placed the new area, means that new area were given, so that on from that boundary the France could not extend their area in future. That's why the France was prevented from the expansion. Okay, then Persia got some important place. What was that important place Persia got? That were the western part of European continent. So western part of European continent territories came in whose hand? In Persia's hand. Then we have seen Austria also, the part was of whom? Of great powers. So Austria also got the control over the North Italy, and Russia got Poland, and there were no change in the German Confederation of 39 states. Means what exactly? We will see from the previous one page that in the France, the Bourbon dynasty were restored, means whole control of France went in whose hand? Bourbon dynasty. And then Persia, among these four, Persia got the important territory of West Europe. Okay, Western Europe. Austria got the control of North Europe, North Italy, and then Russia got the Poland. So in this way, all the power leaving Britain, all three powers got some area, some main territories. Okay, and whatever confederation of 39 states were done in the German, means in Germany there were confederation done during the European society, so that confederation was kept as it is, means that 39 states will not be changed, that confederation will be same, that there will be no changes in these 39 states. So that idea kept as it is. Okay, so this all were about the powers. Which powers? Britain, Russia, Persia and Austria. When the control came in their hand, so in this way they started governing the whole Europe. Okay, so later on we will discuss the